Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Chalapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Thursday's edition, October the 1st of 2015. Let's have a look at today's news. And in today's Thailand Moves Forward, we begin with this story. Thai Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha delivered a speech at the United Nations General Assembly affirming Thailand's support for worldwide development of peace and stability. The Prime Minister praised the United Nations for protecting human rights, maintaining peace and creating long-term stability. He said, Thailand has striven towards the path of peace and prosperity through His Majesty the King's efficiency economy philosophy, while keeping its people's interest in mind. General Prayut stressed the importance of reducing social inequalities in order for all citizens to equally benefit from worldwide development. In any stage of development, he said, no one should be left behind. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister after delivering a speech at the United Nations, he discussed the possibility of bilateral cooperation with Equatorial Guinea at the United Nations Summit in New York. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha said to Equatorial Guinea President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo that the Thai government would continue to cooperate with other developing countries, including Equatorial Guinea, under the South-South Cooperation Framework. Thailand stated its intention to join the cooperation when it participated in the Asia-Africa Summit held in April this year. General Prayut has urged exporters in Equatorial Guinea to take advantage of a rice trade deal with Thailand to boost market share in both Thailand and other ASEAN nations. The Thai Premier also offered to provide academic cooperation in the areas of agriculture, public health and human resources. On Charter Draft, Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan said the Cabinet has not yet discussed the selection of the Charter Drafting Committee or CDC and National Reform Council or NRC members. The Defence Minister said the process will have to wait until Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who is also the head of the National Council for Peace and Order, returns to Thailand for further consideration. General Prawit said he is unable to confirm the candidates at this very moment. As for the NRC chairman, the Deputy Premier revealed that NRC members will be responsible for the selection. He added that members of the National Security Council have not proposed a new security strategy yet, as they also have to wait for the Prime Minister to return. The Cabinet has given an approval to the construction of 2 dams in the northeastern part of the country. Government spokesperson Colonel Sansern Kaew revealed that the Cabinet has approved a 700 million baht budget for the construction of 2 reservoirs in the northeastern region, as proposed by the National Water Resources Committee. The newly approved budget will cover the construction of water detention basins in border areas of 5 provinces in the northeastern part, the enhancement of reservoir capacities to mitigate drought disasters, and the construction of temporary dikes throughout the country. He added that the Cabinet also assigned the Bureau of the Budget and the National Economic and Social Development Board to handle all expenses related to the hiring and the long-term plan for state manpower. He went on to say that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has passed on his gratitude to all civil servants who will be retiring this year. The Election Commission is set to amend certain clauses of the Criminal Code that deal with election crimes in order to make due process more efficient. A meeting was recently held between the EC and representatives from regional appellate courts where they discussed how such crimes should be handled by the judiciary. The meeting reached the consensus that election-related cases should be handled consistently, regardless of whether the charges are civil or criminal. The Election Commission argued that consistent rulings would resolve election-related court hearings faster than deciding case by case. However, appellate court representatives said the power to issue arrest and search warrants should belong to the courts instead of the EC. Regarding the role of the EC in the draft charter, EC President Supachai Somcharan said he needed to see the draft first before making any suggestions. He reiterated that the new constitution should continue to empower the EC to disqualify any candidates it deems corrupt. Moving to our next story, the Royal Thai Police has announced the conclusion of the human trafficking and money laundering cases in Songkhla province. During a press conference co-chaired by investigators and public prosecutors, Deputy Commissioner of Provincial Police Region 8, Police Major General Praveen Pongsirin, said the discovery of the body of a human trafficking victim and 36 graves in Sadao district of Songkhla in May prompted the government to declare human smuggling a national agenda. The Attorney General assigned Deputy National Police Chief General Ek Angsananun to lead the investigations into the human trade and money laundering crimes. Public prosecutors and police investigators in different provinces contributed to the cases over the past 5 months. Regarding the human trafficking case, there are 155 culprits, 91 of whom are being detained. For charges related to money laundering, there are 81 culprits, 41 of whom are in detention. The work groups in charge of the cases have decided to press charges against all suspects through the Natawi Provincial Court. The Attorney General will be in charge of the prosecution. The case's conclusion was announced during a shift in commanders within the Royal Thai Police, which sees General Ek taking the post of Permanent Secretary to the Prime Minister's office. General Ek's acceptance of the new post means the two cases will be without the Deputy Police Chief and will require a new Deputy Police Chief to helm the cases. Local residents and environmentalists from Phichit, Phitsanulok and Phetchabun provinces have submitted a letter to the Department of Special Investigation or DSI to petition against nearby gold mining operations, which they say pose public health risks to several provinces. The villagers enclosed health reports of residents that have fallen ill due to mining activities and death certificates to those killed by carcinogenic chemicals. They urged the DSI to investigate these claims. Phichit residents said they were badly affected by the mine, which discharges chemicals into nearby water sources. Locals have been forced to buy food from other villages since crops grown in their community could be toxic. Police Major Warawan Seelam, director of the DSI Special Case Division, expressed concerns for the villagers' hardships. The Bureau of Consumer Protection and Environmental Crime will be assigned to gather further evidence to decide whether the case should be handled by the DSI. The first batch of returnees from the Hajj in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, have arrived in Thailand. On Wednesday, Southern Border Provinces Administrative Center, or SBPAC, Secretary General Panu Thairat was at the Hajj airport in Songkhla to welcome the first batch of Thai pilgrims returning from this year's Hajj. A total of 289 pilgrims arrived at Hajj airport, whereas 108 arrived at Suvarnabhumi. 4 of the returnees who arrived in Hajj did not pass the medical screening set up to prevent outbreaks of MERS and other diseases and have been put under monitoring at hospitals. Grisia Pongsiri, Director General of the Religious Affairs Department, revealed that no Thais have been hurt or killed in the fatal stampede that killed more than 700 Hajj pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. However, 12 Thai pilgrims died from other causes such as heart diseases, shock and respiratory system failure. Another pilgrim died in the crane collapse before the start of the Hajj. On the economic front, ratings from Standard & Poor's has kept its credit rating for Thailand unchanged at BBB. In reaching the decision to maintain the ratings, S&P explained that it saw an improvement in Thailand's political situation. It noted that it will continue to monitor the continuity of the Thai government's policy implementation in the aspects of infrastructure investment and education investment. S&P indicated that continuous decline in exports owing to the Chinese economy slowdown was not limited to Thailand, but was rather being experienced by all countries in this region. The ratings company suggested that in order to maintain its competitiveness, Thailand should increase research and development into high-value products. Federation of Thai Industries Vice Chairman and Thai National Shippers Council Vice Chairman Wallop Withiyakon said Thailand's export in the first 8 months of the year was worth $142.7 billion. He added that export deficit stood at 4.92%. Mr. Wallop Withiyakon forecast that exports for the remaining 4 months of the year will continue to decline, estimating that 2015's export deficit would be 5%. However, the Ministry of Commerce's measure to set up commercial minister councillors will be able to help exports recover in 2017. Thailand's exports in August was valued at $17.6 billion with a 6.69% deficit, the highest in a year. However, the deficit for September to October of this year is expected to increase to 8 or 9%. The forecast applies if exports were to hit $17 to $18 billion during that period, due to the fact that exports in the same period of the year 2014 was very high. Turning to our next story, the Bureau of Royal Rainmaking and Agricultural Aviation has opened 3 cloud seeding bases in the northeast to tackle the region's water shortage. Tawi Kanjana, director of the Royal Rainmaking Northeastern Operations Center, said the bases were located in Udon Thani, Nakhon Ratchasima, and Ubon Ratchathani provinces, which are facing water shortages due to the prolonged drought. The center will supply cloud seeding chemicals to the new bases. Flights will target Khon Kaen, Mahasarakham, Roi Et, Sakon Nakhon, Nong Bualampu, and Udon Thani provinces. Meanwhile, meteorologists expect another monsoon will replenish major water sources in the region. The Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, TCEB, has organized a project to promote Thailand's image and push the country to become the hub of MICE in Southeast Asia. TCEB's president, Noparat Methawi Kunchai, said that the Bureau has planned the Thailand Connect project to be a part of a push for the country to become the hub of meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, or MICE, in ASEAN, and to receive international recognition for that. Mr. Noparat said that Thailand has long been a preferred MICE destination for many countries because of the unique local beauty and geographic setting. For the new project, TCEB has planned to put focus on 3 strong points of Thailand, which include its being the destination, its offering for business opportunities, and its people who are professionals within the industry. TCEB president added that Thailand also has more than 42 choices of venues to host any MICE activities. He went on to say that Thailand Connect is expected to help boost MICE revenue by 5% in 2016, when over 1 million MICE travelers are forecast to arrive and spend more than 92 billion baht in the country. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll now take a look at the exchange rates and also some of the commodity figures. Newsline will return with ASEAN news, also the global news update. Stay with us.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. Third core value: being grateful to parents and teachers.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough. We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Multiple perspectives, insightful commentary on Thailand with The Insider every Sunday morning at 10:30 on NBT and NBT World.
Welcome to ASEAN, a community comprised of 10 countries, each with its unique culture and history, now unifying to bring added prosperity to the region. For centuries, each country remained independent, but now we are coming together to compete in the 21st century globalized world. ASEAN is bringing together more than 600 million citizens and a total land area of 4.4 million square kilometers, and is providing economic opportunities, trade, travel, and new educational possibilities. The combined GDP of all 10 ASEAN countries comes to a total of $2.4 trillion, which means the ASEAN entity ranks amongst the world's major economic powers. The future is here. Welcome to ASEAN, the community of opportunities. The Southeast Asia region is now becoming one.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Now to ASEAN and beyond. Cuban leader Raul Castro awarded Vietnamese President Truong Tan Sang the island nation's Order of Jose Marti at the start of an official two-day visit to Havana to strengthen ties between the close allies. Named after Cuba's national hero, the order is the highest state honor for the country and has previously been awarded to other dignitaries such as Venezuela's Hugo Chavez and Chile's Salvador Allende. The Vietnamese president's visit follows a trip to Havana by its Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dang in March. According to Cuban statistics, after China, Vietnam is Cuba's biggest trading partner in Asia, with nearly $270 million in goods and services traded last year. The two leaders signed a bilateral deal in the education and banking sectors. It is not clear whether the Vietnamese president will meet Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro visited North Vietnam in 1973 to show his support in the midst of its war with the United States. Cuba provided doctors and military engineers who took part in the widening of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Vietnam and Cuba established diplomatic ties 55 years ago. Indonesia on Wednesday said they are preparing to evacuate those affected by the air pollution from raging forest fires on Sumatra Island. Indonesia has sent nearly 21,000 personnel to fight forest fires raging in its northern islands, the disaster management agency said, but smoke cloaks much of the region with pollution readings in the very unhealthy region in neighboring Singapore. Slash-and-burn agriculture has blanketed Singapore, Malaysia, and northern Indonesia in a choking haze for weeks, pushing up pollution levels and disrupting flights, as it does every year. Indonesian efforts to halt the seasonal clearances have failed. More than 135,000 Indonesians were reported to be suffering from respiratory diseases, the disaster agency said in a statement. The Indonesia's Palembang, one of the worst affected areas in the Sumatra Island, local residents were seen helping authorities to tame the raging fires. Palembang Governor Alex Nordin said if the situation worsens, evacuations will start. In Singapore, the skyline in the central business district was barely visible. Indonesia has faced criticism for turning down offers of help from Singapore, even as it struggles to contain fires that have been exacerbated by a prolonged dry season. Despite having sent nearly 21,000 personnel to fight forest fires caused by annual slash-and-burn land clearing practice, little progress has been made to improve the situation. And that's the Marina Bay. In other news, the Russian parliament on Wednesday unanimously granted President Vladimir Putin the right to deploy the country's military in Syria a move a top Kremlin aide said related only to Air Force. Russia has been building up its military presence in Syria, where it supports the government forces of President Bashar al-Assad in a conflict that pits him against Islamic State militants and Western-backed rebels. But he said the vote did not mean that Russian ground forces would be engaged in conflict and that the move referred to the use of the Air Force only. The last time the Russian parliament granted Putin the right to deploy troops abroad, a technical requirement under Russian law, Moscow seized Crimea from Ukraine last year. According to the head of the Federation Council's International Relations Committee, the members of the council supported the president without any doubts. There have been media reports saying Russian jets have already carried out airstrikes in Syria. The Kremlin declined to comment. And the U.S. National Hurricane Center said Hurricane Joaquin strengthened in the Atlantic on Wednesday and could become a major storm, although forecast models do not agree on whether it would make landfall in the United States. The warnings came as the northeastern United States faced a pounding rainstorm that flooded streets and snarled traffic from Washington to Boston. Joaquin, the third hurricane of the 2015 Atlantic season, is a Category 1 on a scale of 1 through 5, with maximum sustained winds of 140 kilometers per hour. It is about 285 kilometers east-northeast of the central Bahamas and continues to strengthen. The governors of New York and Connecticut and emergency management officials in New Jersey states are hard hit by 2012 Superstorm Sandy and already facing heavy rains unrelated to Joaquin on Wednesday, warned residents to begin preparations for a possible severe storm. The NHC said Joaquin is expected to move near or over portions of the central Bahamas today. A suspected Islamist rebel accused of destroying ancient monuments in Mali's Timbuktu appeared before the International Criminal Court on Wednesday, the first person to face charges for damaging mankind's cultural heritage at the court. The ICC has been examining events in Mali since 2012, when Islamist Tuareg rebels seized large parts of the country's north and imposed strict Muslim religious law. They began desecrating ancient shrines, mosques and monuments in Timbuktu, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. French and Malian troops pushed them back the following year. Prosecutors say that Malian citizen Ahmed al-Faqih al-Mahdi led an Islamist morality squad called Al-Hesba, which helped execute the decisions of the Islamic Court of Timbuktu. They accuse him also of belonging to Ansar Dine, an ally of Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb. Mahdi confirmed he was able to follow the proceedings via Arabic interpretation. Permanent representative to the ICC for the International Federation for Human Rights, Carrie Ann Kammer, told Reuters she hoped the ICC would also consider further possible crimes which human rights organizations say Mahdi committed. Mahdi is the first individual to face charges of damaging mankind's cultural heritage at the court, but the ICC has been urged to look at destruction wrought by the Islamic State on ancient site of Palmyra in Syria as well. And that's all the time we have for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please feel free to write them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and our website, which is thainews.prd.go.th/en. It's time now to say goodbye, and we say goodbye with pooches and owners taking to the waves for the 7th annual Surf City Surf Dogs at a surfing competition in California. I'm Chalapan Sanarula. Have a good day. Swadee ka.